Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, and I am also known as ETCG1 when I post videos to this channel. And here in ETCG1 I start things off, of course, with hey, if it is your birthday, happy birthday. Please enjoy this digital confection that I found for you. Now that we're past all that, I'd like to get into the meat and potatoes of today's video, which is about evaporative emissions. And this all comes about as a result of me watching the internet. Well, you should watch the internet, but I probably shouldn't watch the internet. But anyway, I'm going through the internet and I'm seeing this young mechanic. He's talking about fixing a code, or an evaporative emissions code on a customer vehicle. And then I think he said something to the customer to the effect of, oh, that's just one of those dumb systems the government put on your vehicle. And I find that very reductive. And I wanted to explore evaporative emissions a little bit more. And one of the reasons those systems are on your vehicle to begin with. For those of you that are not familiar with evaporative emission systems, it's a system on your vehicle that's basically there to sequester any fuel vapor that may happen in your fuel tank. Gasoline is volatile. It goes from a liquid to a vapor relatively easily, and that's one of the reasons we like to use it as a fuel, because we don't burn the liquid fuel, we actually burn the vapor. So the faster that stuff goes from liquid to vapor, the better. That's good for us. However, as far as storage and putting it into places, that sort of becomes problematic, as we'll get into here. The evaporative emission system on your vehicle is designed, as I said, to take those fuel vapors inside of your fuel tank and sequester them inside of a charcoal canister. And at an opportune time as you're driving down the road, there's a little valve that opens up and allows those fuel vapors to be burned inside of the engine. This fuel vapor changes inside of your fuel system depending upon temperature. The warmer the temperature, the more that fuel is going to want to evaporate. Additionally, the lower the barometric pressure is, the more it will want to evaporate. So temperature and barometric pressure play a factor in how quickly gasoline will evaporate. But the evaporative emission system in your vehicle is designed to keep those vapors from escaping into the atmosphere, and it will burn them in the engine at opportune times. So that's the summary of how the evaporative emission system works on your vehicle. It's also equipped with a few pressure sensors to detect when there might be a leak. Say, for instance, you don't tighten your gas cap all the way and there may be a small leak there. Well, there's a pressure sensor that's going to monitor that fuel tank pressure over time, and if it discovers that, well, hey, this pressure is dropping more than normal, it sets that check engine light code, and there you go. Tighten your gas cap and everything is fine. And yes, I'm aware, it's 2026. There are, well, a lot of newer vehicles don't even come with gas caps anymore. You just put the fuel nozzle in and away you go. So they've eliminated that whole problem because it was an issue. They even went so far as to make a separate code just for your gas cap to sort of parse it out from the other things so that you wouldn't have to go to a mechanic to have them diagnose the fact that you didn't tighten your gas cap and then you get charged money for that kind of thing. We're not talking about that here. We're talking about gasoline and how it evaporates, and how there is the quest to control that evaporation definitely within your vehicle. Now that's the summary of how the evaporative emission system works in your vehicle. Now I did an experiment knowing that I was going to do this video, and I took, well, I don't know if it's 400 or 500 milliliters of gasoline, and I put it inside a measuring cup and set it outside and did a time lapse to see how much of that fuel would evaporate and how long it would take to completely evaporate and go away. And you're watching that footage right now. A couple of things, as I mentioned, come into play: the temperature and the barometric pressure. It should be noted that the temperature on the day that I took this video was somewhere in the low 90s. So it was pretty high temperature, so this stuff definitely wanted to evaporate. And within a few hours, I believe it was all gone, and there was just a little bit of liquid left in the bottom. And then I got to thinking about this, and I was like, wait a minute. The gasoline that I used wasn't all gasoline. There's some ethanol in there, and there's some other additives and things, and that could be what was left in that liquid. The point is that gasoline all evaporated. It all went away. So what started out as liquid is now vapor. It's now in the atmosphere, and it's gone. And that's the reason why you have those systems on your vehicle, to keep that stuff inside to where it doesn't go away. I like this because it saves me money, but also they don't want that fuel getting into the atmosphere, because that's not necessarily a good thing. I went digging around on the internet to find out whatever facts I could find out about this, or internet facts, let's call them. And the most interesting thing that I found was a report from the early 1930s, the 1934-ish, I think it was, from the US government, about fuel storage. It didn't have to It didn't pertain to evaporative emissions in vehicles. It was talking about like if you had a fuel tank and you were storing things either above ground or below ground. The kind of things you would experience due to this evaporative emissions. Either the fuel would go away or, well, it's interesting. So here we go. First of all, when you fill an empty tank, you're going to lose more fuel than if you fill a tank that's partially full. And what I mean when I say this is in an empty fuel tank, you've only got a little bit of liquid fuel in the bottom there, but the whole rest of it is filled with vaporized fuel. So you go to fill the tank, and what happens is that vaporized fuel is coming out while you're putting liquid in. So that was something I found interesting that they brought up. Now, I remember back in the 90s, they had a small little blip for a bit where they put these little rubber hoses on the end of the fuel nozzles that you use to put into your vehicles. And this was designed to capture those fumes that were coming out as you were filling your fuel tank. Well, they didn't last too long because I didn't think people, they couldn't figure it out, I guess. And maybe it wasn't effective or what have you. But it seems that evaporative emissions aren't so much when the vehicle is stored or something is in storage. It's when the fuel gets transported from one place to another, or when they're filling one of those tanks that's mostly empty in the ground. So they go to fill up the tank at the fuel station, and there's a bunch of vaporized fuel inside of that tank, and then they go to fill it up. And as they fill it up, that vaporized fuel is coming out. And this gets more and more prevalent the bigger the scale. So that's just at your local filling station. What about that fuel tanker that's, hundreds of thousands of gallons of fuel that's in it? This is why I brought this up. It's not just some silly thing brought about by the government. It's not silly. It's trying to control the evaporation of this fuel into the atmosphere, which isn't a good thing. And as you saw in that time-lapse video, it happens. It does happen. You leave fuel out in the sun, it's going to go away. I would rather keep it in my vehicle and have it being burned. But again, these are facts that I found off the internet. I'm not a petroleum expert or any of that kind of thing. I try to be an auto mechanic on the internet and then inspire discussions here on ETCG1. So I'd love your take on all of this information that I've dumped on you today. And what's your take on evaporative emissions, or just those stupid government things that are put onto our vehicles? I agree, some of those things are just downright stupid, but something like evaporative emissions seems like it had a point, and that's my point. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, so please do that. If you have automotive questions, eric@thecarguy.com is always there for you. Link down in the description along with other resources and things that I use for this video, so go check that stuff out. I want to thank you very much for watching today and remind you to be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. I will see you next time.